And welcome back to the We Are City channel for our post-match review of what just happened earlier on today. Manchester City versus Newcastle United. 1-1 draw, City play out a draw, Newcastle pushing at the end, City pushing as well in the end. No one came out with the 3 points, one share between the two sides, which, to be honest with you, I think is probably a fair result. I do think that was fair. We've got my play ratings on the screen there, but if you want to talk about the game itself, the game was not the most entertaining game of football, was it? The first game without Rodri, where City, Pep Guardiola probably feels like City are in trouble. The thing is, we were out Rodri for the start of the season, and Pep didn't really make any strange decisions in terms of lineup. He literally just said, right, well, Kovacic will play that position for Guardiola. He'll just play the Rodri position. And then since Rodri's been injured, it feels like Pep's gone, oh dear, but he can't really play it for the full season, so we're in trouble. And that is something that we've mentioned for a long time to do with that. So I've got the player ratings on the screen here, and I've got the man of the match wrong. The man of the match is not Erling Haaland. I forgot to change the crown there. The man of the match is obviously Joško Vardiol. I think he is my man of the match, so ignore the crown on Erling Haaland. It will be Joško Vardiol, my man of the match. Graphically, I've got that one wrong. But player ratings, we'll go through the players and we'll go through the team and the way we played, because I personally think 1-1 was a fair result. A lot of people saying that it wasn't a penalty on Anthony Gordon. I'm looking at it from a neutral perspective. I think if a City player went through, I'd say that was a penalty. It's a soft one. Gordon's looking for it. Gordon's not looking to try and score there. He's looking to try and take it past Ederson and hope that Ederson takes him out. Otherwise, he puts it into an empty net. That is Anthony Gordon's plan. As soon as Ederson puts his arms out there, Gordon knows, just leave the legs in, go over it, get the penalty. That is what Anthony Gordon did. And he got the penalty, and it worked, didn't it, for Newcastle? They had some good chances. City had some good chances. I suppose the Bernardo Silva chance it looked spectacular. I don't think it was quite as good as a Joelinton chance, which Ederson made a fantastic save from. City's goal was great, and City had lots of chances throughout that game in that first half. I do genuinely believe if City actually could play that final pass, could play that final ball, we would have been 2-3-0 up at half time, and that would have been game over. Haaland's carrying a knock after a kick on him by mistake by Dan Burn as he fell, cut the Achilles sort of area of Erling Haaland, which could be a problem for City. I mean, if Haaland's injured, we are in big trouble because we don't have a striker either. And Pep's then really looking at his squad and saying it's short. And we thought it was short going into the season, and it felt spectacularly short today when you saw that City name 8, not 9 players on the bench and 2 goalkeepers. It really did feel short. So as for the starting 11, we went with Ederson in goal, went with the back four of Walker, Ruben Dias, Manu Akanji and Joško Vardiol, a midfield three of Ilkay Gundogan, Rico Lewis and Mateo Kovacic, and a front three of Bernardo Silva, Erling Haaland and Jack Grealish. So as the goalkeeper, Ederson, I've given him an 8. I think that save on Joelinton was massive before half-time. He did his little crazy back heel at one point, which City got away with. His distribution wasn't too bad. I mean, a lot of the game he had to just keep playing it long and just lumping it long to Haaland, which wasn't working, but we kept doing it anyway. Yes, you could say he was at fault for the goal, but I don't think he was. I mean, if he makes an amazing save there, brilliant, but what else can you do? Maybe Ortega saves that 1-on-1, I don't know. They're different goalkeepers, good in different situations. As to the back four, the centre-back partnership, I thought Diaz and Akanji were reasonably good. I mean, tactically, we played a lot of the game with Akanji stepping into midfield, playing sort of alongside Mateo Kovacic. I thought Akanji was great at that. He got nutmegged once. I think obviously he got beaten for the goal, or Gordon went past him for the goal, but it was a good ball and he didn't quite read it. But I still think he played very well, so I'd give Akanji an 8 as well, and I'd give Diaz a 7. I don't think he was quite as impressive as Akanji. He can be wasteful on the ball, Diaz, and I thought Akanji was quite good, to be fair to him. And in that first half, the first 45 minutes, we can't look at the second half, which was nothing really happened in the second half. Particularly, but Akanji was brilliant in that first half. The back line then made up the fullbacks. We'll start with on the left-hand side, Joško Vardiol played literally in between Grealish and Haaland. Played like an attacking midfielder. What a goal. He is more than just a centre-back, isn't he? And Pep Guardiola said after the game that Joško Vardiol is brilliant in small spaces and actually struggles in big spaces, which is surprisingly for a defender. Usually it's the other way around. So hopefully that's something he can work on. But in terms of going forward, I mean, if Haaland does get injured, maybe Vardiol is the Haaland backup. Maybe that's what we're looking for. And we just play him at striker because he's got that goal instinct. He's good with either foot. He can dribble, he can shoot. I mean, and he's a fullback. He's a fullback, or we bought him as a centre-back, but he's a fullback. Absolutely top quality player, and he deservedly is man of the match today. Him and Grealish were the top 2 players, I think, down that left-hand side. Anything positive came down that side in that first half, and at times in the second half. Kyle Walker gets a 5. the captain, wasteful on the ball, and he's cost us a goal again today. That's, I think, 4 goals he's cost us in the space of 2 weeks. 1 against Watford, 2 against Arsenal, and then another one today where he's our captain. And our defensive line is there in line. Vardy, Akanji, Diaz, and then Walker's just decided he'll do something else. You go back and watch the goal. He plays Gordon onside. So we've got to play Rico Lewis there, but with the absence of Rodri, maybe Pep Guardiola wants to play Rico Lewis in the inside and then play Walker at right back. I don't know. But Lewis has got to play at right back. Or we've got to sign a new right back because this can't go on now. I know he's club captain, but I just think he's getting towards the end of his career, Kyle Walker, especially at Manchester City. Maybe another team where he plays in maybe a back 5 and he plays in the right of a back 3 of a back 5 or whatever. I think he'd do amazing. But I mean, at times today, he's incredibly arrogant in his defending. He seems to, I don't know, this season he's really struggling with. If someone switches the play, he never gets out to the winger. He never gets out to the winger in time. It happened against Arsenal plenty of times. It happened against Brentford plenty of times. He cost us goals against Brentford as well, to be fair. And yeah, that's another goal to add to his tally of what he's cost us. And the thing is, today, at one point, Anthony Gordon goes through, he switches the ball to the far post, and Kyle Walker just watches Barnes and thinks, he's just, oh, it's okay, he won't do anything. But the anticipation, what if he does? And if he did, then Newcastle could have created a chance and scored there, and it would be his fault again. So I'm becoming even more increasingly frustrated with Kyle Walker. Into the midfield, which I think was maybe the worst part of our game today, the midfield. Rico Lewis is 6. We know what Rico Lewis is good at. We know what he's not good at. To be fair to him, he gets stuck in all the time. He always tries to get in with the battles. I think Rico Lewis's biggest problem is he's got to learn, or he's got to bring into his game, if he's going to play midfield, that killer pass, that ball that cuts teams open. He played one today, actually, over the top to Bernardo Silva on the right side, which is absolutely spectacular. And I thought City going to score here. Bernardo switches the play to Grealish, who's then got Haaland in the middle, and Ilkay Gundogan got in the way. And we'll speak about Gundogan because he's been a real problem today. Kovacic at 4. He offered nothing going forward, Kovacic, and he offers nothing defensively either. He's just a body that's there, and occasionally he makes a tackle, occasionally he makes a run, occasionally, but he just keeps the ball ticking, and that's fine. But I want more from him. I really want more from him. Maybe because he's got big shoes to fill in terms of Rodri, that I don't think he's as good as Rodri, which of course he's never going to be. But yeah, I wasn't impressed by Kovacic today. I just don't see it with him still. I don't see this top quality player that should be playing week in, week out for Manchester City. I think he's a good utility player. He's a good squad player. And he's been in big squads that have won big things, but I just don't see him as a starter, personally. That's just my personal opinion. The big problem today was Ilkay Gundogan, and I hate to say it because we know how good he's been. I've been reluctant to say it, but in his appearances so far for the club, I feel like he is a level below he was when he left us, and he's lost a yard or two in terms of his ability to beat a man, to turn someone, to take a touch. He seems to have really lost that sharpness. Maybe that'll come with playing for us, but he hasn't looked good so far. I've not mentioned it so far. I mean, in the last review of the Arsenal game, I didn't give him a high rating, but I've given him a 2 today. And I couldn't give him any higher than that because he literally, everything that went wrong in City's attack, Ilkay Gundogan was at the heart of it. He beat someone, and then you think City are we've opened up Newcastle, and then he got the ball stuck under his feet, and you think, okay, that's one. Then we create a chance, he's free on the edge of the box, Bernardo Silva pulled it back to him, and he kicks it into his own foot, and it's out for a goal kick when he probably should get that on target, at least test the goalkeeper. You think, okay, that's 2. And it just continued from there. Nick Pope gives the ball away pretty much on the halfway line to Ilkay Gundogan. We've got Haaland running off Fabian Schär. All he's got to do is run and play it to Haaland and let the best striker in the world, who's scored in every single Premier League game so far this season, get a shot off. But no, he tries to dip the goalkeeper and he literally hardly comes off the floor. Again, he miskicks it, gets it stuck under his feet. His corners were terrible. His chance creation was poor, and then it summed it up in that second half when City had that counter. Rico Lewis, I mentioned it, played that fantastic ball over the top to Bernardo. He cut them open. Grealish is at the far post waiting. Bernardo switched it to him, and Gundogan gets in the way and can't even take. And I think he actually takes it off Grealish for himself, and again can't take a good decent touch. It was like he was playing for Newcastle today. He was actually playing as a defender for Newcastle, stopping City's attacks, and he should have come off way early, and Foden should have been on way earlier, I think, for him. The forward line wasn't so exciting either. I think Haaland had a really difficult game up top. They just wanted a physical battle, and in the end, he got, in the first half, not so much in the second half, he got so just engrossed and just completely engulfed by that physical battle. He literally did nothing else, which was really frustrating. Bernardo on the right, he's ineffective on the right-hand side, Bernardo Silva. He's never going to beat the fullback, so the fullback just stands and watches him. As long as you block the cross, which he's not a particularly good crosser either, you know he's going to go inside. He's better in the Kovacic, the Rico Lewis, the Gundogan role. Get Bernardo in there. Don't have him on the right-hand side. It has to be Savinho. It has to be Bob when he comes back. We can't play Bernardo out there. I think it's a really conservative approach from Pep today. In formation-wise, no, it was very expansive. But in personnel-wise, I think it was really, really conservative. And Bernardo Silva, it was so frustrating to watch on the right-hand side. On the opposite side, though, someone who usually is frustrating to watch, but actually did a lot of good work today, was Jack Grealish. Defensively, he got back and worked hard. He had a bit of a scrap with Tonali at one point in the game, it happens, I suppose. We know what Grealish has done. He's good at winding people up. But in terms of creating chances, he created the first goal. He threaded the pass through to Vardiol. Everything he was doing that left-hand side in the first half was really impressive. Second half, like the rest of the team, he dropped off. But he's got to get an 8. I think he was really good, Jack Grealish, today. And he can walk out of that team alongside Vardiol, Akanji, Edison, Diaz, with their heads held high, really. That they had a above average performance today. They really did, and Grealish was that. Grealish, Lewis and Gundogan were the 3 that came off in the game. The substitutions were Doku, Savinho and Foden. I give Foden a 6 again. He had a great chance, and again he hit it down the middle. I don't know what it is with us at the moment, but every single shot seems to go down the middle. If he didn't, he scores there. But he made an impact, and he was much better than Ilkay Gundogan. You could see he tried to create chances. Savinho did more than Bernardo on the right, but I still give him a 5 because Bernardo moved into the midfield and had an okay game. He did more than Bernardo on the right, but not enough. But he had 10 minutes to try and do it, 17 minutes in the end to try and impress. And Doku, I give a 4. Doku, like Kovacic, a 4. Yeah, he was just there. You know, if Doku's not beating his man, Doku's doing nothing. He offers absolutely nothing. He's got to be beating his man. And then, I suppose when he gets in a good position, he has to work on his final ball, his final action, his decision-making, his shot, his crossing. If that comes, he'll be a ridiculously good player. But like the Arsenal game today, he couldn't beat the fullback. He came on, and Tino Livramento had him. Could not beat him. Maybe I've been really harsh with these ratings. I tried to be fair. I tried to be fair as possible. I thought Newcastle did what I expected Newcastle to do. Try and play in the counter a little bit. Try and play in those long balls in behind City's defence. At times they had really good spells of possession. They had some really good chances. And 1-1 was a fair result. 1-1 was a fair result completely. Let us know in the comments down below what you think. Do you think it's a fair result? Who was your man of the match? I've gone with Vardiol despite that crown being on Haaland. I forgot to move from the Arsenal game. Let us know your feelings on the game. Anything that you think's a key point. Do you disagree with some of the player ratings? Do you think some people played better than before? What do you think about Ilkay Gundogan? Because I am very worried about the sort of player we've brought back. I feel like he's just going to be someone that's in around the squad. Maybe he's a good motivator off the field, but maybe he should be doing a Scott Carson role if he can't play football anymore, which is a surprise. But he played at a high level at Barcelona last year as well, so I don't quite understand it. Maybe it's sharpness. But yeah, 1-1, City share the points. It was all they deserved, and City and Pep Guardiola need to think about better ideas going into the future games. Without Rodri, we still have to be defensively solid. Again, no clean sheet, but we have to get better creating chances. And at the moment, other than Haaland, I do not see where the goals are coming from. And other than maybe Grealish today, there was not a single creative player on the field. And that really, really did show. Thank you for watching. Please like the video if you haven't already. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to know all my thoughts as the game was happening, go and listen to our alternative commentary. You'll hear it all as it goes on. And we'll see you guys next time.